back again. I kind of feel like Oprah. Cece said I sounded and acted like Oprah, so I'm talking to powerful women. I'm on the stage. I have lights. So now, speaking of powerful women, I'd like to introduce you to a woman who has come very far in the financial world. Not only has she personally been successful in her own career, she has led teams of bankers who have in turn helped a significant number of businesses and individual customers make productive financial decisions over the years. Please give a warm welcome to the sponsor of tonight's event, the Middle Tennessee president of First Tennessee Bank, the oldest and largest bank in our state, and my boss, Carol Yocum.
Hey, Rita. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Wonderful.
All right. Perfect.
Hello, everyone. Rita, I heard you say oldest and largest, and I'm glad you said bank.
Bank. No, we're definitely on the bank of the state.
Right.
Yes. No, we're
Yeah.
You're
Good.
beautiful. Okay. All right. So Carol, you've been in financial services, the industry, your entire career. And so you know a lot about money. And so that kind of makes you different than all of the panelists that we've talked to so far. So if you think about all the things that you know about money, what is the one thing that you want to share with the audience tonight?
Okay. Well, it's great to be here this evening. And as I look out into the audience, we've got a lot of young women here, and besides gender, I think, I look out and say, what else do these women have in common? And I think it's time. You all have a lot of time over your life. If you're 15 years old, for instance, and if you're going to work till you're 65, you got 50 years ahead of you. That may be a shocker.
Yeah. That may be really tired.
That may be.
But for money.
Yes, for money. So I think back to your question in terms of the one thing, kind of as I think about over my career and working with in the financial industry, there are lots of concepts, but the one concept, financial concept, I would say that would apply to young women who have a lot of time is really the concept of compound returns or compound interest. And you heard a little bit about that from Reese and also with Cece. And I think that most of you probably understand that concept, you know that concept, but I'll just give you a really quick example. If you have $100 and you invest it at a 10% return, at the end of the time period, you've earned $10 and you add that to the original principal of $100. Now you've got $110 that's working for you at 10%, and you earn $11, and then you add the $11, and it becomes $121, earning 10%, and it's $12 of earnings. And so it's just a small example, but I think you get the idea, and that over time, particularly a long period of time, that compounding can really yield a phenomenal positive impact to you financially. But the important thing that you have to do is that you have to begin a savings program. And you've heard that mentioned a number of times today. And you may say, well, hey, I only have a part-time job or have an allowance. But you really need to think about paying yourself first. And each month set aside those funds, get them in a savings account, and do that consistently and stick with that discipline, because over time, what will happen is you will have your money working for you. And I think it's a really important suggestion and recommendation that I would make.
Yeah, and of course, as a banker, I will add to what Carol said. Your money, the earlier start, you don't need a lot. And your money doesn't have to work as hard because you have all this time. If you wait till all the way out here, your money can hardly work hard enough to keep up with what you need to have going on. So this is, the benefit of you guys being here now while you're still in high school I mean, you've got the 50 years, and it doesn't take a lot. And so, again, I would just reiterate what Carol said about compounding. I mean, this is a really important money principle. So, my second question. Throughout your career, you have helped a lot of women, and in many cases, seen them transition through various stages of their lives. As an advisor to these women, what learnings can you share with the people tonight?
Yep, sure. I think it was John Lennon that said that life happens when you're busy making plans. And as young women, one of the things that's going to happen is that you're going to encounter a number of life events. There'll be a lot of life transitions. And many of those life events and life transitions are going to have financial implications. So the important thing is that you educate yourself about money, that you get smart about money, and that you really set yourself up to stand on your own 2 feet financially. A lot of women have said and do say, well, my husband's going to take care of me and everything's going to be okay. We're going to live happily ever after. And I think that's okay as long as you're, again, establishing yourself from a financial perspective independently, because the thing you have to keep in mind is that over 50% of marriages in the United States end in divorce. And if you've not prepared yourself financially, most women are going to end up at the short end of that stick. And what that means is that your standard of living is going to decline significantly. And then I think the other thing that is a pretty profound statistic is that the average age of widowhood in the United States is 56. And so, losing a spouse it really can be emotionally, devastating. What you don't want is at the same time to be devastated economically. And so again, it really gets back to preparing yourself, educating yourself, and being able to stand on your own 2 feet financially. And I'll just make one other quick point, and that is, this is not an easy do-it-yourself exercise. So reach out, ask questions, but make sure that if you're going to connect with someone to advise you financially, make sure that it's a professional organization and that the people that you're talking to have a great reputation and have something behind them, because there's a lot of people out there that will take advantage of a situation.
Yeah, that's great advice. And that even goes back to what Reese was talking about, having a collection of friends who have experiences and who are financial advisors. But again, that's a great point, Carol, to check out who you're taking advice from and make sure it's a legitimate person with a great reputation or an institution. And so my final question is the same question that we're asking everyone. And so with what you know now, what would you tell your younger self about money and your perception of it? What would you talk to yourself about today?
Okay, sure. I think that one of the things that all of us in this room share is that built into our DNA is that we are the nurturers and the caregivers in our family. So we are mothering our children, we are loving our spouses, we are caring for our parents, we're lending an ear to our friends and maybe our work colleagues. And we're putting others' needs ahead of our own. And one of the things that also happens along the way is that our own financial education and the attention that we need to be paying to our finances really takes a back seat. So the advice that I would give for women is get yourself out of the back seat and put yourself in the driver's seat when it comes to your finances. It's like, and Rita and you and I've talked about this, it's like when you're on an airplane and the flight attendant is giving directions on the oxygen mask, and they say, put the oxygen mask on yourself first, and then help your children. And so I would really give that same advice here.
That's great advice. You guys need to be listening to this. And again, you have the power today. You can put yourself in the front seat. You know, you are the driver of your career, your earnings, your life. This is a moment. So thanks so much, Carol, for sharing. That's fantastic.
Thank you.